the total different ball game. But if you don't have your sales background and know what sales is all about, it doesn't mean that you can't be a professional marketeer, but there is something lacking in your whole profile. So what I see now, to answer to your question, is nowadays you find a lot of youngsters, after they graduate or they get a qualification, they try to get into a desktop and get into the management field straight on, which in my opinion might be the wrong decision, because then you are trying to get into a position where you might not have experience and the know-how of what is happening below. So the result in that is that some sunny day, 5 years, maybe 8 years down the road, some smart cookie will come from below, through the yard, through the mill, who knows the entire work, and then kick you behind your back. So in order to avoid that, I personally believe that you need to go through the ladder and experience, get to know, and you will realize that once you have this whole thing under you, that you are a more holistic person than going and moving on this. So I personally believe that your question is based, the answer to that is that I think more of them are trying to get into this comfort zone.
Well, I also agree with you, like that has been a dilemma in modern days, especially the youngsters. Once they get a qualification, graduation or qualification in terms of a diploma or a higher national diploma, they really try to squeeze themselves into a comfort zone rather than getting battle hardened. But young Taraka Ranwala was battle hardened when he was really put into the acid test, when he, like you said, maybe the sheer luck or a nonsensical move by your part to get out to the field as a salesman at Metropolitan. So you were really battle hardened. I heard that when you offered a motorbike, you chose to go, travel on the bus.
Well, actually, it's like
true?
this. Actually, I think
and people
it's
really
something
criticize you for kicking that benefit. Like, the company was sponsoring a motorbike, and you said you can't.
Well, actually, Mahesh, I think good that you mentioned. I think that we need to share for the benefit of people to learn out of it. You see, in 1992, when I joined, there were 2 others who joined with me who are doing really well now. We are still keep in touch with each other. You see, as a salesman, I needed to go all around, not around the country, but even in Colombo I need to move around. So what happened, the company offered us bikes. You see, in my case, I think it was my mother who took the decision behind me, or rather she didn't have any influence though. Well, she was very scared of me riding any bikes or going anywhere near a bike. So when that was offered, I knew, look, I can't disappoint my mother, and I didn't want to go in the bike because I knew that she's very scared. So I refused, right? So what happened was, eventually the other 2 got the bike, but see, I told you I was trying to sell a new product to the market, and mind you, in 1992 it was 1.5 million, and it was a huge cost. So I need to meet the top level people in organizations in order to sell this. I can remember I used to meet the general manager and the chairman of Bank of Ceylon, the commissioner general of Inland Revenue. I used to meet the managing director of Singer. Those were the top people I used to meet. Now imagine not having a bike, I had to go by bus to sell a 1.5 million thing, and I need to make sure that the customers I meet, they need to take me very seriously, very, very seriously. You know, I used to do this. I used to go by bus. I can still remember. I used to get down from Fort. Those days we had this Galadari hotel, which we still do have. I used to go into the Galadari hotel, get into the washroom, clean myself, adjust my tie, do everything, and walk out of the hotel and walk into either Bank of Ceylon or the nearby office that I am going for the meeting, as if I just walked out of my car. Because I need to create that impression that to come, because you see, you can't come and sell a 1.5 million worth of a product just looking shabby and without having a proper appearance. So I used to do that, but every time I met a client, I swore to myself that I am going by bus for reasons best known to me, but I wanted to make sure before my other 2 colleagues even think of buying a car, I am going to buy a car. And I am happy to say today, I think just 2 years down the road, I bought the first car, even before they managed to, with my selling and the commissions I earned. And actually I believe now that inspiration and that drive that I had in me, letting go of the bike, going through the mill, suffering, had molded me and told me I need to go and achieve this. And I went all out to achieve it.
Well, two things that I elucidate from his answer is that one thing that Galdari Hotel had realized the importance of CSR activities, you know, way back in 90s. I mean, if anyone of management of the Galadari would be watching this program, would be definitely happy to see that that it has provided some room for the young people like Tarak Ranwal, who was traveling on the bus. And also another, the irony in your answer was that you said that you chose not to ride the motorbike because of your mother. So that does the talking for your character. From one end, you are a very strong professional corporate character. On the other hand, you are a very thoughtful, compassionate person, as to me, since I have associated for many years, and this is something that I have realized. And I have asked this question a couple of times, like how you bring in these two aspects into one forum to come out with a outcome that is benevolent to your organization.
Well, I think it's a very good question, Mahesh. You see, actually, I think any individual need to strike a balance between being compassionate and being having a drive to achieve what you want. Because sometimes you tend to get this feeling when you have a huge drive and you are going all out to achieve what you want. You sometimes tend to think that, are you going to shed your the compassionate feelings, the feelings towards the people you love.
In other words, like you really start disregarding the people who really loves you.
And then the disregard your norms. But that is not the case. See, if you strike a proper balance, you actually go further than people who don't have those idealisms with them. So it is very important that as any individual, you need to have your drive. I am a firm believer that you need to have drive. Actually, my key word is not drive, my key word is passion. You need to have passion. What I am today is that I have passion for whatever I do, right? So with the passion, you need to always have that compassion, the belongingness, and what you need to have among the people you love, the people you associate with. Because if you don't have anything here, right, you will not achieve anything material. There is no point in having anything in sign language, having everything here but nothing here. So you need to strike a balance, and I think the moment you strike a balance, you will succeed. If you look at the world over, not only in this country, you look at successful people, you will see that they have strike a balance between that. So I think that's important.
Well, as much as the successful people strike a balance, now when successful people or the young people, the youth, when they take decisions of which looks like very flimsy and very silly, the people start criticizing you. Those could be constructively critical or destructively critical. Now, in your case, now when you said no, I don't want the motorbike, I knew some people said he either he wants to take a car from the bosses, like he is demanding, or he doesn't have guts to ride the motorbike. Then again, like from metropolitan to the banking sector, you chose to go to a position below where you were at metropolitan at a salary less than 2,000 bucks less than what you were getting. So what characteristic feature really is underpinned in this kind of move?
Well, actually, let me just briefly explain that, Mahesh. Now, see, you're 100% correct. Now, from being the manager overlooking 2 units at Metropolitan, 6.5 years after I joined,